No, I'm good, thank you.
I'm ready whenever you are. You are looking at Championship Court here at the Mesa Tennis Center in Mesa, Arizona. Not too far away from a municipal airport where you will occasionally hear the aircraft going by. You can see Lucy Kovalova warming up. It's the first time we've seen her on Championship Court today, along with her partner in the green long sleeve shirt, Simone Jardim. And warming up with one another are Lucy and Simone's opponents, Jessie Irvine. She's in the tan-colored shirt with the blue tights, and her partner, Lindsay Newman, in the long-sleeve white shirt and the visor. We had Lindsay here in the broadcast booth earlier. Love having a player of her caliber in here with us, being able to provide some insight. And these players are just nearing the end of their warm-up. You'll notice, I always like taking this opportunity when we watch the warm-up, is to highlight some of the things that we see the players do that you at home might be able to incorporate into your own warm-up. So you'll see the players spend a lot of times up close to the net, volleying quickly back and forth at one another. We can often call those reflex volleys. Reflex volleys are really important. You can see here in Newman and Irvine hitting those reflex volleys. And also notice that Jessie Irvine is hitting those from three-quarter court. She's doing that. You can see a combination of driving the ball and also resetting it, a low drop that can sort of defend against a faster shot. Because that, of course, will be important against players with the firepower of Jardim and Kovalova. You see Simone doing the same thing. So really what the players are doing here is they're trying to warm up with the kind of intensity that they're going to need when they start to compete. And sometimes players, when they warm up, they do it kind of at warm-up speed, right, at a slow speed. And then what that means is when it's ready to go, it sometimes takes them a moment, a few points even, to get adjusted to the tempo of the play. And, of course, they can't afford to use the match to warm up. That's what the warm-up's for. I'll remind you about a couple things right now. If you're enjoying the broadcast that you're seeing, be sure to hit share. That way your friends can see it as well, and we can all enjoy this pickleball together. Also a reminder that you can get your first year of your PPA membership for free. Just head over to their website, Pro Pickleball Association.com and use the promo code first year. You can see the rankings, you can get discounts, and more. And there's a lot of great content as well here on Facebook for Pro Pickleball. You can go over and you can see the PPA Instagram page. I know we often share the work that they do. Look up Pro Pickleball Association on Instagram and you can see some of the great behind-the-scenes action going on here at this PPA event and the other 6 that will be going on throughout the course of the year. If you're watching us on Facebook here, let me know. Say hi to me. Let's see who we've got out here looking right now. Oh, we've got my good friend Orlina Sauer out of Minnesota. Regina Franco's here. CJ Germstad is watching. Lauren McLaughlin, good friend of mine. She was in the broadcast booth with me earlier this year. Fun fact about Lauren and our time together is one time we laughed so hard that we actually could not speak. And so we had some dead air happening over there. It had something to do with when you would cross a beaver and a moose. It was funny at the time, I promise. Ben Johns is joining us. Really looking forward to seeing him later on this weekend. Yeah, BJ Peters asking that code again. Here, I'll write it in here. So here's the link. ProPickleBallAssociation.com is where you go. You can get, there's a lot of great information over there. ProPickleBallAssociation.com. And use the promo code first year. 002, Lucy Kovalova serving to Jessie Irvine. We are underway here in this women's pro doubles main draw match here in Mesa. A lot of notable things to watch during this match, and we're going to talk about a number of them. First one I would say to pay attention to is the grip. The grip that Lindsay Newman uses, the way she holds her paddle, different from all 3 of the other women out here. They all use what's known as a continental grip most of the time, sometimes an Eastern forehand grip when they put their hand a little more behind it. Eastern forehand grip is kind of like you're holding, like you're shaking hands with someone, whereas a continental grip is almost like you're holding a hammer. Wow. Wow. That was one of the other things we should notice. That ball caught Lucy by surprise. We'll talk about how strong Irvine is on those low forehands. And unlike those grips that we see from Jardim, Kovalova, and Irvine, Lindsay Newman, who's about to serve here, she holds the paddle almost as though she's holding a frying pan. And we call that a semi-western forehand grip. Really closes the paddle face, and it's one of the reasons she can get so much spin on some of those forehand ground strokes. Quite different technique from Newman out there. As that Jardim backhand goes into the net. Different game style than we've seen earlier here. You're going to see the players work each other. We talked with Annalie Waters about how this is what she expected, is that the players are going to play this soft game. They're really going to work each other. And that is exactly why. Lucy Kovalova speeds it up. And the team of Irvine and Newman so ready for that ball. All over it was Jessie Irvine with that two-handed backhand. So again, you've got to be quite certain that if you're going to speed things up off of a low ball, that you're going to be able to do some damage. You're going to be able to cause some trouble. 4-1-2 is the score here. Irvine and Newman in the lead. And with that backhand in the net, we get a side out. Simone Jardim is going to take over serving. 1-4-1. And that ball catches the inside of the court. In that case, Kovalova had to shift over to her right to cover the hole created after Jardim was pulled out wide. And Jesse Irvine wisely puts the ball down the line into the open court. There we go. Earlier, when Lindsay was in the booth here with us, we talked about lobbing and when to play the lob and both what direction you'd hit the lob. And we talked about how cross court gives you a little bit greater margin for error because of the increased distance compared to down line or cross court over the middle. That ball, she doesn't get cross court enough, and it sails just long. 4-2-1 is the score. (4-2-2) is the score. 5-2-1 is the score. Newman and Irvine collide paddles there. It's really interesting to see here. There's sort of like a left-right pattern here that Newman and Irvine seem to be using to try to sort of pull either Jardim or Kovalova off the side of the court, forcing their partner then to come and cover the middle and then go to that other side. And interesting to see whether that was using these cross courts like you're seeing here as part of that strategy to really open up space in the middle of the court. There it is again, right? There's that low backhand volley, redirected, not hit with a lot of speed because it is so low, but she's so good at disguising that ball. 6-2-2. There we go again. You saw here how Lindsay Newman sets up well outside the sideline looking for that forehand Ernie. That makes Jardim and Kovalova think there's some space in the middle, and Irvine just slides over there. She's looking pretty focused right now and puts away that two-handed backhand. There we go. Again, Jesse doing a good job dodging that ball. Kovalova loading up on the backhand side. 8-2-2. And that ball also goes just long. Again, risky to go down the line with the lob. Not a lot of distance to work with. Let's say hi to Jarkko Valen watching from Finland. I know that pickleball is growing quite a lot there. Here we go. That's what we talked about earlier, using those cross courts effectively to open up the court. 2-8-2. Lucy had the right idea, looking to drive that ball, was high enough, but just catches the top of the net and sails a little to the right. 8-2-1. Lindsay yelling at Jessie Irvine to get on her horse there. 8-2-2 is the score. Lucy had the one lined up, but just misfired. So right now we're seeing a combination of strong play by Newman and Irvine, and also a few uncharacteristic. Oh, wow, we'll try that again. A few uncharacteristic errors from Jardim and Kovalova. There's another example there. That high backhand, not much you can do besides laugh it off. Got to think right now Kovalova and Jardim are really now playing for game number 2 here. Game point. And with that side out, Kovalova and Jardim, they're still in this mathematically, but I've got to think that this is really about sort of the momentum that they're hoping to build on going into game number 2. So much of pickleball is about having the confidence to play well, to hit those shots as precisely as you need to. And right now I would say that Kovalova and Jardim not playing with a ton of confidence. You saw Jardim give Lucy a bit of a pat on the backside there, even though she didn't hit the winner, but trying to make sure that she and her partner are feeling good as this match progresses. Lucy's not going to feel good about that forehand. All right, with that side out, Jessie Irvine serving with another game point here, 10-3-1. Kovalova, good job getting that ball down and hard. See a little paddle tap there from Jardim. Again, Irvine and Newman really using those cross courts, and that is an unforced error. With that, Newman and Irvine take game number 1. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with game number 2 coming at you. PPA, Mesa, Arizona.
Not today. Break's over. You dropped something.
That's a wicked backhand.
To Mesa, Arizona. You're here watching the inaugural PPA event. And if you're just joining us, we saw Lindsay Newman and Jessie Irvine run out to a quick start in this match, taking the first game in decisive fashion. And Jessie Irvine will be serving, this time with the sun at her back, to start off game number 2. The winner of this match, of course, is going on to play against Lee and Annalie Waters, who we just watched earlier on in this game. In this day, I should say. So got to think here, given how many balls right now we're seeing go towards Newman, is that that's going to be the strategy that Kovalova and Jardim are using here early on. You can see why, as Jessie Irvine goes all over the court. She's going to take that overhead smash. There we go. Crowd likes that one. Now, of course, Kovalova and Jardim, known for their offensive skills, known for putting pressure on, known for hitting hard. And there's a really nice example of why these two women are two of the best in the business. That ability to play defense when they need it and to be able to steal that rally from Newman. That ball sails just a little bit long. Very often what happens in those situations, the ball's so quick, yes, the players will call it out, but by the time they call it out, the ball's already past them. And so there is that sort of delay between when you see what's happening and when you can get the words out of your mouth. Many of you players at home will be familiar with that feeling, realizing the ball was out, but a little bit too late. And so here what we saw is Newman and Irvine so good at reading the ball themselves not to hit it. (0-0-2) is the team's trade side outs. Again, Kovalova and Jardim looking to go at Newman primarily. They will go back towards Irvine in the open court just to try to keep her honest, not allow her to take up too much space in the middle. Got to think we're going to see Simone doing a little more work here in the middle of the court. Lucy's missed a few balls lately. Getting a little bit frustrated, and so sometimes what you need is a partner to really step in there, start to dictate play a little bit, take some of the pressure off of you, and together get your team back in the swing of things. 0-1-1. Can see the frustration from Lucy Kovalova. There we go. She's going to like that one. A little bit of a growl from Kovalova after that nice around the post. A well-placed ATP. What makes that so such a good shot is not just that it's hit hard, but that it's hit so low. Speaking of low, that forehand drive is right in the sweet spot there. And all of a sudden, Kovalova and Jardim have a little bit of momentum. Classic Simone Jardim right there, really taking that wide stance, reaching to get the ball in the forehand when it's as high as possible. And so good at misdirecting where she's going to play that ball. There you go. Jessie Irvine trying to go into the stands for that ball. Good offense. We're going to have a quick timeout here. We're going to be back in a second. This hydration break brought to you by our friends at Jigsaw Health. Between Third Shot Sports, Pickleball Lab, and Pickleball Coaching International, we got you covered. And we are back live here in Mesa, Arizona. Mark Renison here bringing you the live stream from the inaugural PPA event here in Mesa. You're looking at Lucy Kovalova and Simone Jardim playing Lindsay Newman and Jessie Irvine. And after winning the first game quite convincingly, Lindsay Newman and Jessie Irvine down a little bit here, 5-1-2 in game number 2. And that's why they took that timeout, try to slow the momentum of Jardim and Kovalova as Lucy's backhand volley goes into the net. 1-5-1. Lucy's so good at hitting that backhand dink with considerable spin, makes it tough for players to be really precise. And you get that little bit of a skid off the bounce. But I think that was a missed ATP opportunity for Newman. Uh-oh. And Lucy has got to be thinking to herself, how many times do I have to put the ball away before we actually lose the point? Great defense from Irvine and Newman, but that's what you've got to do out here if you want to be able to compete with these women. She's had a few of those softer shots she's trying to play sit up a little bit. She gets into a bit of a rhythm here and then hits those balls really well. But sometimes there's that initial ball sits up a little more than she'd like. It's a great block volley from Kovalova on that first backhand. Newman misses that backhand volley into the net. Seemed like maybe a little bit indecisive whether she was going to play that ball out of the air as a volley or after the bounce. And that ball goes just long. (5-2-2) is the score here in game number 2. Newman and Irvine took game number 1. And the winner of this match will go on to play Lee and Annalie Waters. There's the around the post and out. Two 5-1. Simone Jardim dodges that ball. Had someone asking me about the temperature here. I'm going to ask my meteorologist sitting beside me, Miss Ashley LaRue, lets us know that it's 67? 66 and sunny here. And what is that in Canadian?
That's up to you.
It's about 18 degrees Celsius, 66 Fahrenheit. I'm sure someone listening is going to do the actual conversion for us. But no, it's a very pleasant day out here. Really nice, beautiful. It's one of the reasons we're having this tournament here. Five, 2-1. Lucy Kovalova, Simone Jardim trying to extend their lead here, gain some of the momentum that they lost early on. And shots like that are going to do it. One of the things we saw earlier on from Newman and Irvine was that they were really using angles a lot more than they were now. They were really kind of hitting equally to Simone and to Lucy, often on the cross court that would open up space either through the middle or more commonly when the one player would go out wide to receive the ball, her partner would slide across the middle, and then that would open up another cross court opportunity. And it looks like Newman and Irvine have kind of left that strategy a little bit now instead choosing to hit more balls at Kovalova, as she's in a little bit of a slump. 2-6-1 is the score. There's a point. 3-6-1. And that's a great angled volley by Kovalova off that forehand side. She's such a tall player. It's a real advantage in pickleball. You can have a longer reach and get those balls before they get too low to create those angles that are a little bit tougher to do when the ball gets down near the ground. There you go. That ball goes off the top of the net. Bad luck for Kovalova and Jardim. Four 6-2 is the score here. Lindsay Newman serving. I think she's got to be a little bit careful with the height of contact when she hits those forehand serves. She's not serving very high intentionally or to cause a lot of trouble with her serve. She already talked to us about that. But she's quite casual with the way she serves. And of course, when you make contact with the ball, you've got to be below waist high, which is defined as your belly button. Although in all my years of coaching and watching and commentating pickleball, I've never heard a referee say, "Excuse me, ma'am, can you please lift up your shirt so I can see where your belly button is?" So it's always a little bit of a guess. That ball sails just a little bit wide. And we're going to go to a quick break here. This break brought to you by Jigsaw Health. We're going to be back in a moment with more from game number 2 here at the PPA event in Mesa.
People have this conception that pickleball, oh, that's an old person's sport, but I don't think they realize how physically demanding it is with those quick bursts and long, grueling points. The first US Open, I found myself cramping in 2 different events. When you start cramping, it's too late. And when I first started playing, I wasn't ready for that. The biggest difference I feel on the court with Jigsaw products is I'm not cramping at all. It gives you that mental confidence that your body's going to hold up. Jigsaw products will provide a lot of value to you both on and off the court.
So between Third Shot Sports, the Pickleball Lab, and Pickleball Coaching International, we got you covered. All right, welcome back. Championship Court here in Mesa, Arizona. We've been treated to a delight of a match between Lucy Kovalova and Simone Jardim. And they're up 7-4-1 here in game number 2 after losing the first game 11-3. Newman and Irvine have to watch out when Kovalova and Jardim get going here. They're so dangerous to go on a run. Jardim taking over the center of the court. There we go. All right, the players are going to take a quick timeout, but we're going to stay. We'll stay here with this. This hydration break brought to you by Jigsaw Health. It's fun to feel good. This timeout really is just about, it's more of a mental break than anything. You can see Newman and Irvine not even talking to each other. They're on opposite sides of the court. Everyone's just taking their own time. Why don't we say hi to a few people that are watching with us. I see Tao Thongvan, great pickleball player watching. Eddie Atkins from the Eddie and Webby Show. You'll know them if you are a fan of pickleball, especially on Facebook. Stacy Townsend. She is doing a project right now where they're doing the pickleball alphabet. And every once in a while on Facebook, they put out there a letter of the alphabet, and they ask for people to share as many things about pickleball related to that alphabet that they know. Brianna O'Toole, good player, I believe out of Michigan. Scott Golden Boy Pickleball. You can see a lot of interesting stuff Scott's doing, one of the great ambassadors for our sport. We're back to the game here. Lucy Kovalova serving. There we go, and that momentum continues. Jardim and Kovalova. We had someone ask if the Jigsaw products taste good. They certainly do. I've been sampling them quite a lot. Here, we're watching game point here. Lucy Kovalova. Simone Jardim got a little bit of help off the top of the net. And you see the apology from Simone. She doesn't really want to give that point back. And while these players get ready to go the distance for game number 3, we're going to go to a quick timeout ourselves. We're going to be back in a moment with more from Mesa, the Pro Pickleball Association. Stay close. And we're back. This is the first point of game number 3, 0-0-2. The winner of this goes on to play Lee and Annalie Waters. All right, now that put away, you got to wonder, why is Jessie Irvine so fired up? Didn't even win a point there, just got the side out, and that's because she knows that this match is so much about momentum right now, and she feels what's happened in game number 2. Got to think that she and Newman had a little bit of a drop in confidence after Jardim and Kovalova really sort of played at the level we expect from them. And that's why to win that point early on, I mean, we talked before about how it's fun to feel good. That was a good example of it there. And so we're still at 0-0 here. That ball going out. We've got another side out. 3 serves in a row, 0 points scored. 0-0-1, Kovalova to serve. Just a reminder, if you're thinking about how great an event this looks, why not come down? We're going to be here till Sunday. The tickets are very expensive to get in. They cost $0. You can come out here to center court. You can be right by these players. There's Lindsay going for the Ernie. Sort of the Ernie. A mini Ernie. It's free to be here. It's a wonderful time. There's great food stands. There's entertainment. You get to rub shoulders with the pros. Lots of vendors have samples here that you can try. You can get some cool PPA merchandise. Really is an exciting time to be part of pickleball right now. That was an exciting shot for Jardim and Kovalova, that strong forehand swinging volley. Irvine can't quite hang on. Kovalova gets handcuffed on the backhand side. The ball goes just out. 2-0-2. Look how far over. There we go. Talked earlier about how so much about playing high-level pickleball is confidence, right? To go for those shots where you know the difference between winning and losing is so thin. And if there's any sort of hesitation or doubt that you can make it, that can be costly. Great defense from Newman. There we go. What a great shot. You got to think that Irvine was looking for that ball to go to the middle based on where Jardim was positioned, but Simone's able to hit the outside part of the ball right towards that right hip. It's so tough when you get jammed on that forehand side. Tough ball. You gotta think when you see the Jardim fist come out like that she's feeling it right now. And you know, it's one thing to say about Simone, she's such like an emotional player out there, and she'll talk about that. And you know, when she's feeling good, her partner starts to feel good, and so that fist is a real indicator that Simone's feeling it, and that she believes that they can win this point, and she wants to, she wants some of that feeling of being able to win to rub off with whoever she's playing with, whether it's a partner or an opponent. 2-2-2. There we go. So we talked about that. That was a pattern that earlier on in the match that we saw is that Newman and Irvine were moving Kovalova and Jardim left and right, and this time Kovalova and Jardim did it to Newman and Irvine. One of the risks when Lindsay goes for that Ernie when she's standing outside the sideline is that either leaves a hole open in the middle or forces her partner to come over and take some of that space. So it is a little bit of a risky play. 4-2-2. And with that, we get a side out. Jesse Irvine to serve at 2-4-1. I would argue that of all the women that we see play this level of pickleball is that being able to attack successfully off of low balls, like a volley that's taken ankle height, I would put Jessie Irvine up there with any of them. Even sitting back here, I think, okay, she's just going to play a little dink. She's just going to reset the point, and she instead accelerates, and whether it's the forehand or the backhand, she's so strong off both those sides, even just using her wrist and forearm, that she's always a threat from that position. Four, 3-1. Kovalova and Jardim trying to add to this lead here. Nice example of what happens when one person starts to poach more, starts to cover more of the middle. It can work effectively as a way to bait them to hit the ball to you. He looked a little bit indecisive there on that low ball. 5-3-2. Simone is so good at keeping that ball low. Still hitting it with decent speed, hard enough that it's challenging. Opponents don't have a lot of time to react, but so low that the players have to contend with it. And if they are going to hit it back, really can't do much damage because by the time it gets to her, between the height she's hitting at and the top spin that's on the ball, it's forcing them to hit up. And that's a really tough ball for anyone to handle. So, Bill, there's no line judges here for this match right now, and we could have a debate later about why that might be. I think generally these four women and most of the pros, to be honest, trust each other enough out there. They're used to seeing the balls coming at this speed that earlier in the day we saw a couple sort of times where people question their opponents about call, but nothing too serious. And for the most part, I've definitely seen more times where I thought balls were out and players yet still played them because they were confident they were in. So it's been good sportsmanship all around. 7-3-2. Jardim Kovalova on a bit of a roll here. With great defense from Simone and offense. And with that ball that goes out, we get a side out here. 3-7-1. Lucy was sitting on that backhand ready for it. We're going to go to a quick break here. This quick break is brought to you by Jigsaw Health. We'll be back in a moment with the conclusion of game number 3. Stay close.
In pickleball, the last thing I want to think about when I'm playing is cramping or if you're able to perform 100%. Last US Open, I was playing singles and I was feeling like my right calf was getting like really stiff. And I was just like, okay, how can I help my body to perform better? When I start taking Jigsaw products, I'm going to have energy, I'm going to have good endurance, and I don't have to worry about me being tired or I'm going to cramp, so I can just play 100%. You only have one body, so you need to take care of it.
And welcome back to Championship Court here at the Mesa Tennis Center. We're here with a packed house. It's actually an overflow room. We've got the stands are full. We've got people around the broadcast booth on all sides. Feels like every couple minutes they're getting a little bit closer to me. And we've been treated to a great match so far right now, really going back and forth. 4-7-1 is the score here in game number 3. Newman, Irvine taking game number 1. Looked like they had things under control. That was actually a lot more the kind of point that we saw in game number 1. And in game number 2, Kovalova and Jardim fought back. They took it in convincing fashion. Now it's 5-7-1. There we go, nice attack there. Irvine can't quite handle it. Sends that ball too high. Goes out. – 5-7-2. Anyone who plays a lot of pickleball will know that it's so much about streaks, right? Can you go on a streak? Can you go on a little run? And it's amazing how many points can be won in such a short period of time. 7-5-1, Jardim serving. She's going to take over a lot of the middle of the court, allow Lucy to get up to the net where she can be a threat. And Lucy had that one lined up, just a little bit too low. That ball lands in. Oh. All right, a little bit of a dispute, and of course, if there's ever a... Okay, that ball almost... They're going to take a little time out here and talk that over. This hydration break brought to you by Jigsaw Health. We're going to stay here for a minute and talk to some of the people watching. Let's see who's watching. If you're there, say hi. I see Sarah McInnes from Ontario, Canada. Sarah's a friend of mine. Joey Farias. Looking forward to seeing him later on. Always an exciting player, and you've for sure been seeing him in some of these commercials. We did have Eddie earlier from the Eddie and Webby show, and now we've got Webby joining us. Doing some really interesting stuff in the pickleball world with those guys. Ted Blackburn is watching from home. Eddie Medina Jr. from California. He's been really involved with the Say No to Naked Eyeballs campaign, which is advocating for people to wear eye protection when they're on the court. Muskego, Wisconsin says hi. Ian Moss. Gerald Swift. And Ian Moss says hi. All right, we're back. 5-7-1. Lindsay Newman serving. Simone disguises that drop volley. Newman's able to get to it. And there's the forehand around the post. That's going to fire up Newman and Irvine. Love how Jessie waited just long enough for that ball to get out wide enough that she could really attack it. She hits it for a clean winner. Simone had to know it was coming, but just couldn't quite get there in time. 6-7-1. Newman to serve. There we go. Lucy Kovalova finds the right spot. That tight forehand hip is a good place to aim. 6-7-2. Simone misses that drop in the net. Yeah. You heard Irvine asking Newman whether they wanted to switch or stay. Lindsay told her she wanted to stay. Let's play it straight up here. There's that backhand. So strong off that backhand side. From Jessie Irvine. She puts those balls away. Often will play with two hands, but can also put it away with just one. Okay. Got a little excited on that one. You could hear her say right there, it's not there. Not every ball is attackable. 6-7-2 here in game number 3. Winner of this match goes on to play Lee and Annalie Waters. That is such a tough shot. Seven, 6-1. Teams playing pretty tight pickleball here. Kovalova and Jardim would love to extend their lead here. Lucy getting dangerously close to that sideline. She's trying to open up some space in the middle where she or Simone could attack. You can see Lucy standing pretty far out left to use her forehand to run around the backhand. That gives her more offensive options. That is a tough miss. And, you know, I appreciate Lucy's approach here, right? That could go one of two ways. That could be a paddle smasher, or that could be a laugh-it-off kind of shot. And that she's taking it as a laugh-it-off kind of shot. They're going to take a quick hydration break from Jigsaw Health. We're going to be back in a moment with more, the conclusion of this match. Stay close.
I got your new paddle.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Could you sign it?
Yeah, I signed all those.
That's not your signature.
That is indeed my signature.
But I did not see you sign it myself, personally.
Okay.
Maybe just a...
And welcome back. You're joining us for the conclusion of this terrific match, women's pro doubles here in Mesa, Arizona. The first PPA event of the year, 7-6-1. And Lindsay Newman can't believe she missed that shot, went right off the end of her paddle. Players are going to take a quick timeout. We're going to stay here through this. And I'm going to let you know about a couple other things. If you would like to become a member of the Professional Pickleball Association, head over to their website, propickleball.association.com. You can join. There's a promo code you can use, first year. Here, I'll write it in the first year. You can join for free. Tell them I sent you. You can get all sorts of information, the rankings, you can get discounts, you can get great PPA merchandise and more. Oh, you're in a commercial? And yeah, you can see all the great stuff that's going on, all the different tour stops. If you can't make it out to Mesa this time, we can definitely see you at a whole bunch. There's 6 other events after this coming up. And whether you're coming here as a player, you don't have to be a pro to play. You can play in some of the amateur events. Whether you're coming here as a player or as a spectator, you're going to have a great time. All right, back to the action. 8-6-2 is the score. Nine, 6-2. I think that's going to make it 10 right here. Ooh, that one almost got over. Great defense from Newman and Irvine, forcing him to extend the point a little bit longer. Okay, we're going to stay here even though these players are taking a little break. With match point coming up, this hydration break brought to you by Jigsaw Health. And let's see, what else can I tell you about? Who else is watching? We've got Josh who's watching. Ian Moss is threatening to take my job during the commentary. That's tough. Best way, if you do like what you're hearing, what you're seeing, the team at Pro Pickleball does such a good job putting on this live stream. Be sure to hit that share button. That way you can let your friends know. Put it in your favorite Facebook group so other people can enjoy. Speaking of enjoying things right now, Simone Jardim and Lucy Kovalova, they're enjoying a match point here. 10-6-2 after losing the first game. Good defense. That's why it's not always pretty, but if you find a way to put the ball back in the court once more than the opponents, that's all you have to do to win. Jardim misses that ball into the net. It's a well-placed backhand from Kovalova. We've seen some today that she sort of hit at full speed and had a little bit of trouble controlling. That one was about 70%, but really well-placed. That was more than enough to win the point. There we go. And as that ball catches the top of the net, that's going to be a side out. And once again, Kovalova, Jardim, they've got a match point on their paddle. 10-6-1. And that is a clean winner right through the center of the court. Catches the baseline. 11-6 in game number 3. Kovalova and Jardim escape a little bit after losing that first game. We're going to go to a quick break. We're going to be back more in a minute. I'm going to see if we can get an encore interview here with Simone and Lucy, and we're going to be back because we've got lots more coming. Mesa, Arizona Pro Pickleball Association. Stay close. Hey, it's Mark Renison here live from Mesa, Arizona, joined now quickly by Lucy Kovalova and Simone Jardim. Lucy?
Hi.
Bit of a scare out there.
For you.
You're totally under control the whole time?
Absolutely. Especially when it was a 7-6 in the third set, right?
And I hit the ground so hard.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you got this.
Yeah, no problem.
That's right. So there was a bit of a momentum change, right? Those two won the first game like pretty easily, pretty handily.
11-3,
yeah. And so what was it like? Was it some discussion that happened between games 1 and 2, or is there something else that goes on that kind of like tilted the odds in your favor? Like what happened?
Well, we switched sides and we had a break, and I was like, okay, that was most of my mistakes in the first game. I was missing a tape, and I was just like, I could not find a rhythm and missed a couple inches long or wide. So I was just like, okay, I have to put it together. Like, enough of this pickleball. I have to start playing better. I'm here to play with Simone, and we pull it off.
We made a comment earlier that as soon as the Jardim fist came out, that was like a real turning point, right? And how much is it about sort of when that fist comes out about communicating to yourself or to your partner versus making a statement to the other team?
It's all of it. I think it's like, I always have to bring it up because it is true. Like I am older, and with age does come experience. Those moments I need to let her know, hey, like we got this, let's go, because this is crunch time now, and this is it's gotten to that point where it can go either way. So either you push through, or you can't cave in. Like you can't let down. You got to put the foot, down and go all the way. And Lucy did that. She like every opportunity, she brought it to herself and created that opportunity. So that's what we needed, and it worked.
Speaking of what you needed, you've got Lee and Annalie Waters up next. What do you need to do against them?
Should we reveal our strategy? I don't think so. I don't think
Maybe
so.
they're watching.
Yeah, Mark, that's a bad question.
You know what?
Next.
Okay, so you know what? We'll just sit here and we'll just watch, and we'll see what that strategy is. Good luck.
Awesome.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, so there you have it. Soon we're going to be seeing Lee and Annalie Waters taking on Simone Jardim and Lucy Kovalova. Before that, we're going to see two of the women that you just saw out here, Lindsay Newman and Jessie Irvine. They're going to be taking on Catherine Peranteau and Andrea Coop. So stay close. We're going to be back with more from PPA here in Mesa.